Welcome to Notable Approvals. I am attorney Amanda Shaffer. If you tuned in yesterday, we are talking about naturalization, and that is because next Thursday, November 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, myself and attorney Shapiro will be hosting a live Q&A discussion on naturalization. So like us and follow us so you don't miss us, and send us your questions in advance or ask us live. We hope to see everyone there. Today, however, we're going to take a quick break from naturalization cases and talk about another VAWA case. And this is a very interesting VAWA case that has a good moral at the end of the story. So the client is a native and citizen of Jamaica. She first came to us with her US citizen husband to do a marriage-based green card. They hired us, but then we didn't see her for a couple of years. She kind of just disappeared. When she came back, it turned out that he had been really abusing her. It started with they would post things on Facebook, like showing they were happy, and then girls would contact him saying, you could do better than her, and I'm younger, and all these things trying to mess up the relationship. And that's when her husband's behavior started to change towards her. He then started staying out late and not coming home, and then she would question him. He would start with the verbal abuse, eventually it led to really bad physical abuse, where she had to go to the hospital one time. But like so many other people in that situation, she was too scared to call the cops because he would threaten to have her deported, threaten to take her kids away. She has 4 US citizen children, 1 with him. So she was terrified and didn't know what to do. And it wasn't until she was actually at a doctor's office with her kids, and Safe Horizon, which is a nonprofit group here in New York City that helps domestic violence victims, they had a booth set up at the pediatrician's office. And that's how she started talking to a person who worked there about it when they saw her like kind of looking at the materials. So when she came into us, we said to her, okay, we can file for VAWA. Now, we hadn't gotten very far along in the marriage petition process with her. Previously, the only thing we knew is that she was EWI, or she entered without inspection. So she was going to need a waiver, and that's a 601A waiver. However, VAWA, you don't need a waiver if you're EWI. It's one of the exceptions. So we told her, okay, that makes it a little easier. That means we can file the marriage petition, not the marriage petition, the VAWA, and the green card application all together. And it's just an easier process, no waiver required. So we're filling out the applications, and we get to the I-485, that's the adjustment of status application, where it asks all these different questions about inadmissibility, like, have you ever been arrested? Have you ever been on public assistance? And when I start to ask her about, her previous entries, suddenly I realize that something is off. And by off, I mean her last EWI was not her only EWI. It was not her only entry. It was not her only immigration violation. So I start having her, I tell her to explain to me, what happened. And so unfortunately, this lady has had a really tough life. She was subject to abuse when she was back in Jamaica by her first child's father. She had been kidnapped, held at gunpoint, had her head bashed in. This woman, if she wrote a book, you'd want to read it. It would be a very horrible read, but very interesting. So, we started talking about it, and she said the reason she came here her last time was because she had witnessed a murder, and the murderers had seen her, and they knew who she was, and she was terrified. Now, that's not grounds for asylum, unfortunately, under our current asylum law. But of course, I want to help somebody like that as much as I can. So I told her, look, let's just file the VAWA right now, because if we file for the VAWA and for your green card, and it turns out that you have a false claim to US citizenship, because she mentioned there might have been a US passport used, then you're going to have a much bigger problem. Not only will you never get a green card, they're going to kick you out of the country. So we're like, look, let's file the VAWA. We'll file a FOIA, or a Freedom of Information Act request as well, along with it. And a FOIA is how you basically get your file from the government for immigration. Like, they're supposed to have everything in there that you've ever filed or that they have on you. So, with VAWAs, even if we knew it was going to get approved, it was a real marriage. It was There was a lot of abuse, documented abuse, unfortunately. You do get your work permit if you get a VAWA approved for at least a year. You get 15 months of deferred action, which means they're not going to try to kick you out of the country. So she did have some time to decide if filing for the adjustment of status made sense. We got the FOIA back. It was clear as day that she had a false claim to US citizenship. Unfortunately, she admitted it in a in the testimony. Last time she tried to enter the country, she got through, but Jamaica was, I don't know if it still is considered a narcotic source country. And because of that, they randomly will take people aside that come from Jamaica and bring them to secondary inspection. Unfortunately for her that day, it happened. They heard her accent. Passport said she was born in New York. And then she admitted, no, that's not me. So she was given a credible fear interview because she told them, I'm afraid to return because of the murders. I'm surprised they actually paroled her into the country because of the false claim to US citizenship. She wouldn't have been eligible for asylum. It would have had to be a convention against torture. But this was all back in like 2008. So, and she came to us when he started abusing her in 2018. So it was 10 years before anything else happened. So it's a little bittersweet. At the end of the day, we did get the VAWA approved, but we have to stop there because we know if we do anything else, the good chance she's going to be put in removal proceedings, and you can't waive or accept or anything. You can't do anything, unfortunately, with a false claim to US citizenship, as I've said on our notable approvals in the past when I've talked about this issue. The moral of the story is, though, how important it is that your attorney knows everything about your immigration history, and that you not only have to be honest about it, but tell us like in the beginning, because she would have been in a much worse situation, actually, in a way, if the abuse didn't happen and she went forward with the marriage petition, because they would have found that out real quick. And we would have just filed the I-130 then done the unlawful presence waiver, and that's when we would have discovered it, and she may have already been in proceedings at that point. So, you know, the good news is, though, she's still here. Deferred action can be extended. I don't know if it will be in this case, but at least she has time to figure out her life and not just have to, you know, get out of the country in a couple of days. So we're happy that at least now she feels safe and can work and provide for her kids and then figure out the next stages of her life. That is all today for notable approvals. Join me tomorrow. I'll probably go back to naturalization. I haven't decided what I'm doing. It'll be a surprise. And don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram so that you don't miss any more of these notable approvals or our Q&A discussion next Thursday, November 5th at 9 p.m. And don't forget to vote this Tuesday. Have a great day.